everyone. It's Holly Signorelli, CPA and Wealth Manager, otherwise known as the Money Therapist. And this is Money with a Twist of Sublime. Why? Because I want you to love money again. I am so tired of everyone being fearful of money, blocking money, worried about money, stressed about money. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of things on Money with a Twist of Sublime, including happiness, which is why Daren is here today, and small biz and health, you know, the whole health, wealth, and happiness and joy thing. That's what's going on here. And so this is Daren Martin, a culture architect. In case you haven't heard of what that is, why don't you tell them, Daren?
Yeah, and it's Dr. Daren Martin, by the way.
Dr.
So
Daren.
You're the money therapist. I'm the therapist. Not
That's
really.
right.
I don't do that. I'm the company culture therapist. But so I'm an author, speaker, and a longtime friend of the amazing Holly.
Mm-hmm. In fact, Daren came to me to do his accounting, and he's the one that told me that I shouldn't be in that office. And then, of course, I ended up selling my company, and then he was upset.
Okay, yeah. So actually, I walked in, and you, within 10 seconds, maybe I might have shortened the time.
10
It was
minutes.
probably 30. No, it was definitely like a minute or two. Looked at me and said, "I'm going to save you $10,000 next year on your taxes." And I went, "I love this woman.
That's
This
right.
is my new CPA."
Exactly.
And you did exactly what you said, and got me set up with a bunch of other cool stuff. And and I love your message, by the way, about money. I was joking, but we're also recording on. I don't know what you're going to do with this video, but
I'll do something with it.
I pulled out the money clip. You know why I started carrying this?
Why?
I started carrying this because of Tony Robbins. Tony saying that one of his mentors said, "I don't care how poor you are. You should always carry a couple, 300, 400, whatever you can, $100 bills, and just remind yourself,
rich.
This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going." And I think so many people are afraid of money out there, and it's just not where you want to live.
It's actually scary because when people are worried about money and fearful and stressed out about it, and I know that you're a big fan of the law of attraction, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a lot of what Tony doesn't call it, the law of attraction, but it really is the same thing.
Sure.
That's what he's talking about, because it's about being, in alignment with what your goals are, like your actions. And when people are worried about anything, more of that worry comes to them. I mean, it's just a fact.
Look, so, I love all of that stuff, the law of attraction and the secret and all of that. It's a very kind of simple version of some very beautiful and complex ideas that have really been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I just ordered these. It's called As a Man Thinketh, and I'm trying to remember the author's name, but it's a little pamphlet that goes way, way back. It's one of the most widely distributed. And he talks in there about you get what you think about, basically. And
well, it makes sense, though, if you think about, whatever you draw your attention to is what you're going to be successful. So if you don't believe in the law of attraction, but you just believe scientifically, if you feel great about yourself or great about your money, and you're going to allow more money into you. But if you don't feel good about money, or you're uncomfortable, maybe because people told you that money was a bad thing to have for whatever reason, then I've seen people, like business owners over the years, really sabotage success. Or maybe they'll have a really good year, and then they'll say, well, I'm not going to have another, that was just a one-time thing. And I'm like, whoa, to me, if you make money, that's where the bar's been set. Yeah. So you can't say, I can't do that again.
And forget people, me. I've seen myself sabotage myself with just preconceived ideas about what, is my maximum earning. I should be here, but this is just kind of and we got to get broken out of that, because that just is nonsense.
Yeah.
And it really does create a barrier to moving forward. All of this, what my son would call hippy-dippy sort of ideas about the law of attraction and so forth. What's amazing is in 2016, science is really starting to back all of this up. And we're seeing some pretty profound stuff come out. Just when we understand the very nature of matter, that it's all energy. And me and you could get really far afield on this.
Yeah,
but
we could get. I can get really out there with some stuff.
The point is, what you see is what you get, and what you tell yourself is what you get.
Yeah, I was just talking to one of my clients yesterday, and she's probably going to be listening to this, but she said that I was looking thin, and I told her, she asked me if I was on a diet, and I said no. I talked to my cells, and I commanded them to have a higher metabolism, and
Is that how I do it?
And she laughed.
I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. Is that
yes,
what I do?
Because when you're thinking about losing 10 pounds, then you're thinking about the 10 pounds.
Right, yeah.
That is why it's hard. The best way to lose weight is to picture yourself where you want to be and not talk about the pounds. And I figured this out like after I had my son, who, by the way, is 22, but I didn't gain very much weight because it was hard to eat when I was pregnant, but I couldn't stand that big stomach that you have afterwards because it takes like 3 months for it to go down. So I just decided I wasn't going to look at it at all. Because if I had looked at it, then I would have been focusing on that, right?
Yes.
Versus instead I just ignored it, wore a baggy shirt and went to the gym every day.
Okay, so I had this experience recently with, I walked on fire.
Yes, and you got
burned. And for the first out of 4 times, I got burned.
Yeah.
But did I tell you why I got burned?
No, I saw your post.
Okay, so because out of 25 fire lanes, 8,000 people walking in downtown Dallas, we maneuvered. Thank you, Mary Beth Messinio Peters. And we maneuvered and happened to get, and Jeff Pappas, by the way, we happened to get in the Tony Robbins line. So when I get up there, he's sending all these VIPs through. The VIPs run out, then it's us, and I get up there, and it's Tony Robbins putting his big bear paw on me and going, "Come on, you can crush it. You can destroy this fire. You've got it. You're gonna, live the rest of your life knowing you've been a walk." I was so out of state.
Yeah, totally.
Because I'm just going, okay, I'm completely distracted now. Because you're doing this whole thing where you're like, make your move, yes, and you're getting all fired up to walk on fire.
Right.
So I got to the other end, and I went, wow. I think I actually burned myself this time because I walked 4 times. So I looked, and sure enough, it looked like I had something. I put my shoes on and started walking. Every time that I stopped and said, what if I messed up my foot? I should probably call Uber. The pain came on, and I could feel it.
Yeah, because it grew.
Yeah,
it grew energetically.
Yes, and when I said, no, suck it up. Mm-hmm. You're a mile from home. You can do this. Just walk home. Yeah. I started walking again. The pain went away. Yeah. And it was amazing. I mean, it went from a pain to nuisance, right?
Yeah.
And pain, we can't always control pain. We can completely control suffering, and suffering is what we tell ourselves about that deal.
Exactly.
Same thing I got the next day. I said, whatever, I'm going back to the event, put my shoes on, went, and it has not bothered me. In fact, I learned more from that experience than the 3 times I didn't get burned.
Yeah, because you had that moment where you realized it was all about your state of mind.
Yes, and I was actually doing that while I was walking home. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to send energy to my foot, healing, and this is, we're going to. And I got halfway home, and I wasn't even a big fan of this movie, but I thought of the movie Revenant.
Right.
And I thought, this guy, after being mauled to almost death by a bear, crawled out, 200 miles or something.
Oh, yeah, that's a crazy movie.
I can walk home. I've got a blister on my foot. Big deal. And so, but this happens on a personal level, happens on a company level. I talk in a company of owners about if your perception of people is they're bad, they're lazy, you can't count on them, they're never going to do a good job, and you have to be on them all the time.
Yeah.
Guess what kind of company you're going to have?
That's exactly what will happen. Yeah. Because they'll feed off of your energy, and it's a subliminal energy. But I know that when I've had the most incredible office, it's like there was so much love in that office. Like everybody worked really hard and did their job, but it was like a community.
Yes.
Like you do with the culture architect.
It's measurable and it's palpable, and what companies don't get is that you can actually orchestrate that, you can plan that, you can build that culture. Most cultures that I see in companies happen not by purpose, they happen by accident.
Right.
And it doesn't take too many, rotten eggs to kind of spoil the whole deal, right? The whole omelet. I just came up with that.
Oh my gosh! Well,
How
at least
many
it's being
rotten
recorded.
eggs does it take to spoil an omelet? Not too many.
Hey. It's a Darenism.
It's a Darenism. So at any rate, but I think the way we think about money, the way we think about relationships, the way we think about life, what we tell ourselves over and over, those little unofficial mantras.
Yes.
I've been big on coming up with mantras I own and that I create for kind of how I want to do life.
Yeah.
that you cannot convince me, and there's great science to back it up, that it really does have an impact on the way you experience the world.
Yeah, and it's about a mindset, definitely, and I just think about this all the time. So yesterday I was in my backyard. This is kind of a silly example, but we had these really, really beautiful plumerias, and they had were all falling over, and they couldn't stand up, and I was feeling and then one of my favorite plants got killed by some bug or something, and I was like, man, I started to think that it was a sign, right? And then I pulled myself out of it immediately, because I was like, whoa, this is however you decide it's going to be.
Right.
So I decided that those plumerias were so big and abundant that they had to fall down because they needed bigger, heavier pots.
Yeah.
And it was funny. It was an immediate shift, because I think we create our happiness by our mindset. So that's why money doesn't buy happiness. It's a wonderful thing to have and to give and to grow and to spend, and I love it. But the reason it doesn't make you happy is it's because your happiness is how you perceive the world that's going around you.
Yeah.
So, just like there was a lot of negativity in Dallas, last night. So, those are scary things. And as a group, everyone is panicking instead of looking at the fact that most people on this planet are good and kind and they're not bad apples,
And you either feed that energy
right,
or you create something different from that.
Yes. So I just decided today not to engage in any of that conversation on social media, because I don't want that energy to grow. It's a real thing, and it needs to be addressed, but it doesn't need to create momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's, I had a friend write me today and just say something about there's a lot of negative forces at work in the world, whatever. And I said, well, that's why you need to be light.
Exactly. Be the lightest light in the room.
Yeah.
The brightest light.
Yeah. Because that's both physics and, a lot of spiritual teachers have said, how do you demolish a dark room? You turn a light on. It just can't. Well, light's going to win every time.
Every time.
And it's the same thing with being positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with having an abundance mentality versus a scarcity mentality.
I would tell people to do that, especially when it comes to money, because abundance is in all different forms. It could be like a big, beautiful flower, but that will make you feel abundant, and it carries over to the finances. But we are going to take a quick break here. So this, again, is Money with a Twist of Sublime. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how Daren made manifested or created. We'll use the word created. So then we're for the scientific people out there too. The most wonderful, incredible life on his own terms, and still helping other people every single day.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Allison Topperwine, founder of LitWithin.com. Lit Within was developed to be a social media website free from hate, bullying, altogether negativity. It's a place for positivity and to be lit within. I would love for you to come join me and learn more about my journey through Parkinson's, as well as to go on APDA's website. That's American Parkinson's Disease Association's website. Join them, as well as donate. Donate to a wonderful cause to help establish Parkinson's research, and as well as give us some support for those of us dealing with Parkinson's.
Texas is home of the great and the brave, we like to think, and it also is the home of the best e-commerce website you'll ever want to visit, TexasByTexans.com. There you will find the authentically made products. We're Texas proud, we're made in America, and we'd love to have you visit for all the good that Texas has to offer. TexasByTexans.com.
Hello, we're back with Money with a Twist of Sublime with Daren Martin, the culture architect, and we're talking about how to create the wildest, amazing life and business of your dreams, and also being in alignment with your goals. For me, it's like if you have a dream that you want, you have to make sure that your actions are in alignment with that. And there's a lot of little things that you can do every single day to be in alignment with an idea, even if it's a really big goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get started?
So the big problem is that people they spend more time worrying and living in their fear and about what they don't have and about how they're never going to get there. So I talked about this on a podcast recently. It was really kind of the first time I've talked about it publicly like that, but just kind of starting my life over again. 2 years ago, went through a divorce, started from scratch, made very, very little money.
So that was only 2 years ago?
10.
Oh, 10.
10 years ago.
Whoa, you did that in 2 years.
And just kind of muddled around for a while. I'm fortunate to catch some breaks, and, things got a little bit better. But I finally made some decisions a few years ago that I'm done, and I'm not going to live this way, and I am capable of a gajillion times more than what I've been producing and what I've been doing and accomplishing. And I decided that I was just going to start. I was tired of talking about what I was going to do. I was just going to start doing it.
That's really important. A lot of people do talk about what they want, or they even write it down. Maybe even they have a mantra, but they're not creating action towards that. A lot of people, I know for me, if I want something, I'll go for it. And if I get shot down, that's just, okay, let me go ahead and do something different and try it again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But a lot of people, they get so afraid of failure, and I just don't think that failure exists. I think we're humans and things happen, and then we learn from them, and then we move on.
I've thought about this like 6 times this week for some reason, but I read a quote a while back that there is no key to success. Good news and bad news. There is bad news. There's no key to success. The good news is the door's not locked.
Right.
And I really think that's true.
Yeah.
We have this, well, if I could just catch a break, or if something could just go right for me. And you got to decide what kind of life you want, and you got to go make it happen.
I liked that little live feed that you did of Walter's, where he was saying, your ship's not going to come.
Yeah, quit waiting for your ship to come in.
What's funny is, it kind of pissed me off, because I was thinking, no, I believe that I can attract things to me, right?
Sure.
But there's still action involved. It's like the figure 8 is what I picture in my mind. It's like I'm attracting something, I'm asking for something, but I'm still in alignment in my actions. But then I loved what he said, like, your ship's not going to come to you. You got to build it.
You got to go build it.
And I was like, oh. I got goosebumps when I heard that.
Yeah,
because it's true.
Yeah, and I think I said on there that a friend of mine said, well, if someone would just give me a chance, and I looked at her and I said, listen, nobody's going to give you a chance. Stop that. Just quit waiting for somebody to give you a break. You've got to go make your break. You got to go create it, right? Yeah. So, and when you do jump out there and do something crazy, like I said, and maybe you get shot down, it always leads to the next step. It does.
Like, you don't see step 2 until you do step 1.
Yeah.
And sometimes step 1 isn't even close to where you end up.
And sometimes it's a step backwards, and sometimes it's a setback, but it's still, you're on the journey now.
Yeah.
And so, I started that with writing books. I had all this IP sitting on the computer and all this stuff I taught, and I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to write a book. And finally I was like, done with it. Yeah. Won't say what I was about to say, but I was just, I'm going to go write a book. So I wrote a book, and then I wrote another one, and I've got 2 more coming out, which you don't know about, but Walter and I have one that we co-wrote together called The Sink.
Oh man, I bet it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Can't wait.
And then it's a short little thing. And then I've got my book Beached Whale coming out. And then I've got like 4 more titles ready that I'm already working on, just ready to rock and roll. Yeah. So doing a podcast. I did a podcast. We're following very similar paths.
Yeah, exactly.
You've had this in your mind for how long, your book. I've had this one. So for people who are listening on the podcast, do you know Where Your Money Is by Holly?
You know what I really want to write a book
Signorelli.
about is about numbers, because I think numbers are literally the universe language, because numbers are numbers. Like 1 and 1 is always 2. And I think numbers mean something. So I don't know. That's what I see in my future.
You have good historical support for that with all of the the world is math,
It
right?
is.
At
It
some
is.
point.
I really
we
believe
live in
it.
an ordered universe.
Yes.
And it is very mathematical in a really beautiful
And
sense. It's about
NASA's been
patterns.
like discovering that, you
Yeah.
know, that it's all very purposeful. It's
Yeah.
not just a coincidence.
It's not randomness. So
And I think that's why everybody's so obsessed with 11s and stuff. Like, people don't even know why they're obsessed with 11. They'll be like 1111 on, you know, on social
Yeah.
media. I'm like, do you even know why that's important?
So why is
number?
11 important?
Well, to me, it's like a what do you call it? You know, it's like a bridge, you know,
Yeah.
to the universe. I think it's just the universal consciousness number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my number is pi.
It is? Is
No.
that unlimited?
I'm just kidding. No, no, my number's not pi. Yes, yes. Boy. No, I don't. Have you seen the movie Remember the Nine? Or it's called The Nines. It's just called The Nines.
I don't think I've seen that.
Okay, you have got
gotta
to
watch
watch
it?
that movie.
Okay.
Then we need to discuss it. But yeah, I mean, all of that stuff means something. So I started down my own path. You know, a couple years ago, I came up with a couple of mantras, and I'm writing some more this year. But one of them was I amplify the inherent greatness in every person I meet.
Yeah, which is very true. Yeah, you always see the best in people. And I think that's so important. Again, like when people, I find when I do occasionally gossip, I find my energy changes. Like I feel negative, you
Yeah.
know? So I've gotten to where I really, it's rare now.
Yeah.
I can't say that I never do it, but I'm always uncomfortable when I do it. But I tend to see the best in anybody that I'm around. And then I feel better about myself, and I don't know why. That's just, again, I think it's just that figure eight. It's like that.
It comes back. It comes back to you. Yeah.
To
I can't
and
wait.
you see the best in everyone. You just, and you bring light to it so
Yeah.
that they know, you know?
I can't wait to leave here and call 5 of my friends and tell them, did you know that Holly gossips sometimes?
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. That's
Yeah.
funny, right?
I'm sure they'll be
No, I'm
happy
joking.
about that.
It is very much about what you're doing in relation to other people and how you're
Yeah.
doing that. So that's, you know, I amplify the inherent greatness of every person I meet. And then the other one is I live life joyfully and abundantly on my terms.
Yeah, I love
while being
that
a
one.
blessing to everyone around
on
me.
my terms, because you can live life on your own terms and still being good. Like people, when you say on your own terms, they always assume that you're being selfish, but that's not
Not
it. You're
at all.
taking care of you. You know,
Yeah.
like on the airplane, take care of you, and then you take care of your baby. You know,
If
with
you-
the oxygen.
I just heard a great quote. If you take care of you take care of all of us.
Yeah.
And that's really true
'Cause
because
then
it
you're your
starts to
best.
spread.
Yeah.
But yeah, it for me it's an anchoring thing, so that if I'm doing something during the day and I go, wait, is this me living life joyfully and abundantly on my
Yeah.
terms? No. Do I want to be doing this? No.
Yeah.
What's another option for here?
Yeah.
Well, I could outsource this particular thing, or I could just stop doing this. you
I
know?
do that too, because if I start taking on a project, because you know I'm a Scorpio, I'll take on multiple things at the same time, and then I feel like something's not resonating with me.
Yeah.
Not because I have no problem with hard work. Obviously, I'm talking about like what you're saying. Like you're realizing I actually don't want to do this. This doesn't make me happy or joyous. And
Yeah.
if you're not happy, then how are you going to make other people happy?
Yeah.
You know, like in whatever business component.
Plus, you don't bring your A game. You
No.
don't produce the best results.
Yeah.
It's when you're doing stuff that you really enjoy. And then the flip side is, I've learned some things that I just have to do, like some of the stuff that you're very adept at, but invoicing, the sitting down and crunching out,
Yeah.
submitting invoice. With that,
But
I
you
decided
can still outsource it.
I can outsource
now
it.
you
and
know
we need,
it better.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping me with my QuickBooks the other day, by the way. But we need to talk about that. There are easier ways to do that, right?
Yeah.
But the other part of that is I said, look, part of living life joyfully and abundantly on my terms is when there are things that I really need to do,
Yeah.
then I need to enjoy them. And I need to do it joyfully and abundantly.
Yeah.
Instead of, and it gets back to, what do you do? Oh, I hate doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, washing the dishes can be the most glorious Zen,
I don't think so.
spiritual experience, full
I'm
of
going to say no to that.
full of singing and joyfulness, or it can be drudgery. Like, why do I have to wash dishes?
I feel that way
you
about
you don't feel this way.
websites. I get so much anxiety. So in the last few months, I decided that I was going to have my own mantra about, Holly, you're an intelligent person. You can do this. Take a deep breath. It's fine. And now I can go into my website and do not graphics. I'm not talking about designing.
Sure,
but
don't
I can
do
go
that.
in and change just about anything in my
Yeah.
website.
Yeah,
and
'cause you
I'm
figured
so
it out.
empowered because all I had to do was change my mindset. And
Yeah.
for years, I just wouldn't even touch a website. I just didn't understand it at all.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier nowadays.
My web guy, by the way, is phenomenal. I need to introduce you to Peter Minicall, Geeky
Yeah.
Pixel. Give a little shout out to him. But
All
yeah,
right.
he's got some good stuff. I think somebody may be decided not to hire me for something because my hair's too long.
No.
What's up with that?
Well, you live life on your own terms.
That's
though.
right.
So that means, I know for a long time with the CPA firm, I enjoy having Fridays off. And, if somebody is an established client, I'll come in and meet them at 7 o'clock in the morning. But if it's somebody that's a brand new client, the only time they can meet me is 7 o'clock on a Friday, then no.
Yes.
Because if you don't have boundaries in
Yeah.
your business and in your life, then you're going to always be taking care of other people, and you're going to get depressed.
And you're not at that point then taking care of other people.
Exactly, and then you're not helping the people that are already your clients or your family, your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have boundaries. I learned that a long time ago in business, like with your schedule. It's like, this is what I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is what I do on Mondays, and you can have some wiggle room there, but you just really have to stay on your zone.
So many people, like if you've got a thoroughbred that you're going to run in the Kentucky Derby and could win, what is it, $1 million, $10
Yeah.
million, $50 million, whatever the Kentucky Derby is. For that entire week leading up to it, you starve it to death.
Yeah.
You beat it. You give it no water. You get it as absolutely tired as it could possibly. No, you would never do that, right?
Right.
You take care of it. You nurture it. You run it appropriately. You
Yeah.
make sure it's, got all the fluids it needs and all the food it needs, so that when it comes out of that gate, it is top level. It's strong and it's powerful. But people don't do that with themselves. They
Right.
wear themselves out, then they wonder why they're not winning at the game of life.
Yeah.
Because they're reinforcing their mind with all these terrible ideas, what the things they think about, the things that they focus on. It's all this anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
Amy Cuddy showed us that the way you carry yourself, the way you use your physiology makes a difference in the way you feel.
Oh, yeah.
And people sit slumped over and they live life slumped over, and then they wonder why life just looks so dark and depressing. And we got to break people out of that,
I know,
Holly.
we need to start the happiness hashtag or something, because I'm going to start posting abundant pictures, because again, if you want to have an abundant life, an abundance of time, abundance of love and joy and money in your life, then you have to focus on abundant things.
Okay. So and when you start doing that, then some haters, not a lot, but start coming out.
Yeah.
And they start going, well, easy enough for you to say, look at your life. Look at what you... And the reality is, I've been down.
Yeah.
And I've been up. And
Yeah.
I realize, the more I've experienced both of those, that they're both a choice.
Yeah, and they're on the same, and it's like the same vibrational line.
Yeah.
So it's just like from here, if you're here feeling
Yeah.
bad,
Yes.
then you can pull that energy up to the same, to the opposite,
Yes.
of abundance.
I don't know if you saw that amazing story I posted about Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
But he was like 86
awesome.
or something crazy. He was going to kill himself. He was so depressed
Yeah.
and down, and then he used $80 to go start making chicken. And a few years later, he's a billionaire. Yeah. Life change.
Yes.
Big deal.
And we're going to end on that note. So this, again, is Money with a Twist of Sublime. And I'm Holly Signorelli,
Love me some Holly Signorelli.
the money therapist. And this is Daren Martin. And how can people find you, Daren?
I am super easy to find. Just Daren, spell it right, Daren Martin. If you just
Spell it
Google
right.
that. Or you can go to DarenMartin.com. And you can find my podcast, my website. You can go
And
pick up
all kinds of great books.
great books, Company of Owners,
He has
Whiteboard.
bundles on his website.
I have a great
Bundles of
bundle
books.
offer going on right now. It's called the Holly Nicholas Signorelli bundle. We can drop the Nicholas.
There you
right?
go.
Okay.
Yeah, we
it's
can
called the
drop it.
Holly bundle. Go get Whiteboard and Company of Owners.
Yep. All right. Have a wonderful day. See you next week.